here with Country Craft Corner. So glad that you're back to join me for yet another little tutorial here. I have decided I'm going to make a burlap wreath for my dad. My aunt and my cousin and I are going to meet at his place next week, and we are going to do a little decorating for him. So I have already made a centerpiece. I made this yesterday, and all I did was take a pine wreath, and I hot glued some picks and some Christmas balls into it. I just got a red vase today, or that I'm going to use as a candle holder, and bought a red candle, and I thought that would be a lovely centerpiece for his coffee table. So I'm going to make a burlap wreath to mimic this centerpiece in a way. So kind of give it a nod, so to speak. So let me tell you about the wreath I'm going to make. I'm going to be making a burlap wreath, and I'm going to be using a work wreath. This costs $6.99. It's 50% off of $6.99 for this. I tell you, I stocked up on these today because you really just don't see the chenille ties when you're finished making the wreath. Hi, Gracie. She's flying around here. There she goes. She's got a toy. As I said, I'm using burlap. And this is 18 inches by 15 feet. I'm going to need this whole skein. And I have another one sitting here. And I know I'm going to need a little bit more of this. So I'm going to make it pretty full. And then I'm going to use red burlap as the coordinating color. And then I found this lovely ribbon, wired ribbon, down in my basement. Never been opened, bought it last year, so I don't even know what I paid for this. I know I got it at Hobby Lobby, or I think I did, but I got it last year. And I went ahead and made a bow already, and I will give you a link to my bow tutorial, and also another link to a lady named Nancy Alexandra. She makes lovely big fat bows like this, and that's where I learned. And I have not done this kind of a bow tutorial yet, so I'll give you her link. So, and I've left 2 long tails on it. Not quite sure what I'm doing with this, other than I know I bought this little bell. It doesn't ring, but it's shaped like a bell, and it has joy written on it. It has a little tuft of pine on it, and I'm going to nestle that, I think, right down in between. So, but I've got that, and then I've got these 2 big pine sprigs. They were $7.99, 50% off. I think I'm going to turn them opposite of one another, put the bow in the middle, and bend them a little bit around the wreath. And then I've just got a hodgepodge. I've got some Christmas ornaments, just red, of all kind of different textures. Other things, I've got some poinsettias. I may use them. And I've got just a few picks, floral picks with red and sparkly stuff on them. So I'm not quite sure what I'll do. But anyway, I'm here to create, and I'm glad you're coming along with me. And let's get started. I'm going to move my camera around so that you guys can watch what I'm doing, and I'll catch you in just a few minutes. So let's get started. As always, I'm going to take my burlap and just let it drop to the floor. And I'm going to tuff it together, accordion it together, leaving a little bit stuck out of the end, and I'm going to nestle it right down into my first chenille tie, my first chenille twist tie. And I'm going to only twist about twice. I'm going to be coming back around here with burlap on top of this too, so I don't want to utilize all of my chenille twist tie on the burlap. So again, I accordion it together. I do not measure my loops. I probably should, but I would say it's about 10 to 12 inches between each chenille tie. I pull it out and then back it up, and that makes a nice large loop. Again, snug it down in there and twist your chenille tie twice, and on around we go. One other tip I'll give you is try not to twist your burlap. Try to keep, like, there's not really a right side, but keep the same side up at all times. That will help you to fluff it out a little better in the end so that you're not having to try to untwist it from the chenille ties. And I'm going to work my way all the way around the outer ring, making loop after loop. And I will speed this up right here just for time purposes so that we're not bored to death as I'm working my way around. Lord knows I could talk y'all's ear off, but I don't want to do that. So I'll be back in just a few minutes. And here I come around to, I have one chenille tie left. And then this is where I started. So I'm going to be, there's Gracie again, doing one more tuft right here. And then I'm going to make one more for the outer ring, accordion it together. And I'm going to point my burlap toward the inner ring because that's where I'm heading next. So I'm just going to piggyback this last loop into where I started. Twist tight in there again, remembering that I have burlap that needs to come around here. So I really kind of smush that down there just to give me enough room in that tie when I come back around with the red burlap. Now to transition over to the inner ring, you don't have to cut. We're just going to make our next loop, and instead of going to the next loop on the outer ring, we're just going to transition right over to what would naturally be the next inner loops, inner rings chenille tie. Add it in there, and there we go. Now I'm going to work my way around the inner ring in the same manner. Accordion it together, 10 to 12 inches of burlap, back it up and snug it down into the chenille tie. And I am running out of burlap. I've only got enough for one more tuft here, and I'm going to have to go and grab some from that extra skein I have there. Tuck that behind. And let me grab, let me cut this edge a little straighter here. Take the very edge, just as I did to start out the wreath, and kind of overlap it into where I just stopped. Piggyback it in there. And again, just one or two twists because I'm coming back around with that red burlap again. And tuck that behind. And now we can just finish one. Literally just one, and then we're going to make one more loop after that to finish off the inner ring. And one more loop. I'm going to snug it right down on top of that very first inner rings chenille tie. Just twisting it 2 small times, and that'll do it. Tuck that down between, and there we go. That's all the burlap. Let's start out with our red burlap. This is 5.5 inches by 15 feet. I should easily get around twice. Again, I'm going to just dump it on the floor. And again, just tuck the end together. Start on the outer ring. Same exact concept. Whoops, sorry. Tuck that down in between. And make my way around the outer ring. All right, you can see what I'm doing here. So I'm going to continue on. And here I am. This is the last chenille tie for the outer ring. So now I'm just going to make one more tuft and piggyback it in to the very first tuft I made. And now we're going to transfer over to the inner ring in the same way that we did the burlap. Instead of going to the next outer ring, we're going to go to what would naturally be the next chenille tie on the inner ring. And just tie it in and make our way around the inner ring. I'll be back when I'm done doing that. Here I come in. Just have a few more tufts to go. I'm hoping I have enough burlap to get around, but we'll see. I have another roll if I need one. Ooh, it looks like I'm going to have to open another one. My goodness gracious. Oh well. That's what I get for making them so big and loopy, huh? A bit. And I have one more here. Snug the end right where I stopped. Leave myself enough where I can tuck it down between. And one more. Make one more loop. And piggyback it in right where I started. And that takes care of all of the burlap that I will be putting on this wreath. All right. So the next thing I want to do is to attach these two pieces of pine. And I think I need to tie them together. And I'm just going to use some floral wire. And I'm going to wire these two pieces together so that they're a little bit more sturdy. And I go to put them on the wreath. There we go. I'm leaving enough room for my bow to get nestled in there. Now, I do want to see if I can bend these a little bit before I put them on. And I want my bow to kind of be top left, like that. And I'm just going to use the twist tie, the chenille ties, to tie them on. Right, like that. There's one over here, down here. See if I can, there we go. Maybe another one down here. So be sure that it's good and sturdily on. Go. See if I can pull it on in down here. There we go. Nestle the bow right in there like that. See if I can get this on here now. Here we go. And fluff, fluff, fluff. I want that bow to be kind of at the top, but right off centered. You know how I've been saying less is more? I'm not sure we're going to need a whole lot of stuff on this wreath. This is really pretty, just like this. And I'm going to cut those tails. Just a minute. I need to get my hot glue gun plugged in. And I'm going to glue this little bell right in the bow like that. Okay, I'm gonna turn my camera off for a minute. I'll be right back. Alrighty, I'm back. And I have plugged my hot glue gun in, and I am now in the process of making some strips out of my remaining ribbon, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with that. I have measured 8-inch pieces and have trimmed 3 piles of 3 right here, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with these. Turn back around here. First of all, I want to make the edges pretty. I'm going to make each end of this have 2 points, and the way I do that is I just pile 3 up together. This is not very thick ribbon. Pile 3 up together, and then I fold them in half, and I cut at an angle, free edge over, and then I'm going to accordion them together. And I think I'm going to put them right here, here, and here, in these 3 twist ties. And I'm telling you, I'm not worried about the chenille ties, sorry, not twist ties. I'm going to make it look like a little, kind of like a snowflake. Like that. And what I have in mind, here's my Christmas ornaments. I may glue. I don't think I like those though. I don't like those. There are some shinier ones in here. They're like this. My glue one right in the middle of each of those. Still like that bell up there though. I think that's cute. But this pulls in, the red pulls in the red in the berries, so I think would be all right to do those. And I'm not sure we're going to do more than that. So let's work on getting that done, and then we'll see where we are. I'm going to start with this. I'm bound and determined to use this little bell because I think it's adorable. So let's see, it's going to hang about like that. So we want it just nestled in right about like that. Let's see if I can get it glued into place. There we go. Boy, they stick really well. I'll say that. And there we go. Alrighty, I'm back. And I've just had to go tweak this bow. So I've got it just about where I want it. I'm sure I'll still be messing with it a little bit. And I've gotten these 3 balls and the little snowflake tufts in place. And as I look at it, thought it was still missing a little something. So I've decided to do one more tuft of ribbon made to look like a snowflake. So let's do that real quick. Glue the end of it here and put it back on there. The only other thing I'm going to do with this is I'm going to clip. These poinsettias have a little clip on the back of them. So I'm just going to clip one down here and one up here. Let me do a little camera switching around here, and I'm going to get the other the centerpiece I made and set these two side by side, and I think they're gonna look nice and complement each other really well. Here I am with the finished wreath, and I'm quite happy with it. I think it is going to be really pretty, and I can't wait to get it to my dad's place, and I think he'll really like it. I think it pairs very nicely with the centerpiece. So I think that we are going to add a little bit of Christmas into my dad's place. And I'm so glad I found this ribbon. You guys know this ribbon was in my basement the whole time. I had purchased it last year, and when I went to teach my class for that other snowman burlap wreath, I'll put a link in the description for that one. When I went to teach that class, one of the ladies there had ribbon that was either just like this or very similar to it. And I thought, that looks so familiar, and I didn't remember that it was in my basement. And that's why it looked familiar, duh. So I went to Hobby Lobby today with this in mind because I had created this yesterday, and this is what I came up with and using that pretty ribbon. Please check out my blog at countrycraft.me. I will most likely write a blog to go along with this video. And thank you guys so much for stopping by and for liking and subscribing. My little channel is growing by leaps and bounds, and I can't believe it. I can't believe the response I've gotten. Thank you so much for every positive comment and every thumbs up. I'm going to give you all a thumbs up. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. So for now, I'm just going to say, until next time, y'all take good care. Bye-bye now. Oh, wait, check me out on Instagram too. I'm there. Arlen's Country Craft Corner. Check it out. So now I will say, until next time, y'all take good care. Bye-bye.